Do you ever find yourself sitting on the edge of your bed, not moving, not yet, just sitting there, taking a slow, careful breath, almost like you are bracing for impact? You haven't even stood up, not a single step, and yet, somehow, you already know exactly what's about to happen. The moment your feet touch the floor, your knees will pop, they will grind, and that deep, aching stiffness will surge through the joint like a rusted hinge forced open after years of neglect. Now here's the part that most people never say out loud. It's not just pain, it's anticipation of pain. And for millions of Americans over the age of 60, that quiet moment on the edge of the bed has become a daily negotiation with their own body. You swing your legs over, slowly, carefully, and the second your feet meet the ground, your knees feel like they belong to someone 20 years older. And what breaks my heart is not the pain itself. It's what people tell themselves next. Well, I guess this is just aging. This is normal now. This is how it's supposed to be. But what if I told you that specific kind of morning stiffness, that heavy, locked, uncooperative feeling, the one that takes 20, sometimes 30 minutes just to wear off, is not something you have to accept? What if I told you there is one highly specific movement that can begin reversing it starting today? Pattern interrupt, because today we are not just talking about knees. We are talking about independence. We are talking about getting out of bed without fear. We are talking about walking across your home without that first painful reminder that your body is getting older. Welcome back to the Senior Health Podcast, where East meets West to help you age strong, move freely, and stay independent. And today, Japan's oldest practicing doctor is going to guide you through something incredibly precise. Not a list of 20 exercises, not a complicated routine, but one targeted movement that activates a forgotten muscle in your leg, a muscle so important that when it wakes up, it physically helps guide your kneecap back into its natural track, reducing that grinding, that friction, that bone-on-bone sensation so many people live with every single day. Pause, but there's a catch. And this is critical. If you try to jump out of bed and go straight into movement while your knees are still cold, you could actually make things worse. In fact, according to research published by the National Institutes of Health, joint lubrication, specifically synovial fluid, becomes more viscous after prolonged inactivity, significantly reducing its ability to absorb shock in the early morning hours. Which means those first few steps, they're happening under the worst possible conditions. Pattern interrupt. So today, we do this differently. We don't rush. We don't force. We follow a sequence, a progression, from bed to sitting to standing, building toward that one powerful movement. Now let's begin. Doctor, why are our knees so incredibly stiff the moment we wake up? To understand this, you must picture something very simple. Imagine a jar of honey left overnight in your refrigerator. When it's cold, it thickens. It slows down. It barely moves. And overnight, as your body lies still for 7, sometimes 8 hours, the natural lubricant inside your knee, synovial fluid, does the exact same thing. It becomes sluggish, dense, unresponsive. Studies referenced in NIH-supported biomechanics research show that reduced joint motion overnight leads to decreased fluid circulation and increased joint stiffness upon waking. Pause. So when you stand up immediately, you are placing your full body weight onto a joint that is not ready, not lubricated, not prepared. Exactly. We must warm the honey first. Pattern interrupt. So those painful first steps, they're not random. They're mechanical. Yes. Your knee is not ready for gravity yet. And that is why we begin before your feet ever touch the ground. Now everyone watching, I want you to follow along. Not later, not tomorrow, right now. Lie back down on your bed. Get comfortable, because we are starting with something deceptively simple, the bed heel slide. Pause. All right, I am lying flat on my back. What's the very first motion? Keep your left leg relaxed, completely still. Now bring your attention to your right leg. Very slowly, slide your right heel toward your body, dragging it gently along the mattress. No lifting, no strain, just sliding. Stop the moment you feel resistance. Not pain, never pain. Pattern interrupt. And notice this, The mattress is doing something powerful here. It is removing gravity. There is no load on your knee. Zero compression. This is why this works. Now slowly slide it back out. Controlled. Smooth. No jerking. Let's do it again. And again. Now switch legs. Left heel slides in and back out. Each repetition is not just movement. It's circulation. You are literally reactivating fluid dynamics inside the joint, like stirring that cold honey until it softens. Do 10 repetitions on each side. Pause. By now, something subtle has changed. The stiffness is already beginning to loosen, and you haven't even sat up yet. So what's next? Now we wake up the muscle that protects your knee more than any other, the quadriceps. Research in aging populations shows significant decline in quadriceps activation after prolonged inactivity, which increases joint instability and load on cartilage. Pattern interrupt. Translation: your knee loses its natural brace overnight, so we turn it back on. This is the lying quad set. You're still on your back, legs straight. Now press the back of your right knee down into the mattress. Firmly. Hold it. Feel that muscle on the front of your thigh tighten, harden, activate. Place your hand there if you need to. You'll feel it. Hold for 5 seconds. Then release. Pause. That contraction? It's called an isometric hold. No joint movement, but maximum muscle activation. This is why it's so safe, even for arthritis or post-surgery knees. Do 10 repetitions per leg. And keep breathing. Do not hold your breath. That's a mistake almost everyone makes. Pattern interrupt. Now slowly sit up. Take your time. Notice how your knees already feel different. Lighter. More responsive. Now we move into seated knee extensions. Sit tall. Extend your right leg forward. Lift your foot. Hold it for 3 seconds. Then slowly lower. Controlled. That lowering phase? Research calls it eccentric loading. And it is one of the most powerful ways to rebuild strength for daily movements like sitting down or walking downstairs. Now here's the upgrade. At the very top, add one extra squeeze. Pull that kneecap upward, just for a second. That tiny adjustment targets a specific portion of the quadriceps, often the weakest in adults over 60. Do 10 reps each leg. Pause. Now stand up. Carefully. And notice something. You're not bracing the same way anymore. That hesitation? It's already fading. Pattern interrupt. Now we move into standing knee circles. Hold onto a chair. Feet together. Slight bend in your knees. Now small circles. Slow. Controlled. Right, forward, left, back. Like stirring a pot. If you hear clicking, don't panic. Research shows that joint noises without pain are often due to gas bubbles or minor alignment shifts, not damage. But here's the key. Slow down at the click. Work through it gently. That's how the joint adapts. 10 circles each direction. Pause. And now, the moment everything has been building toward. The exercise that changes knee tracking itself. The wall-supported mini squat. Back against the wall. Feet slightly forward. Slide down just a little. About 30 degrees. Not deep. Never deep. Because studies on knee biomechanics show that the inner stabilizing muscle, the vastus medialis oblique, activates most effectively in shallow ranges. Hold it. 10 seconds. Feel that burn deep inside the inner thigh. That shaking, that trembling, that's the muscle waking up. After years, sometimes decades, of being underused. And when it strengthens, it gently pulls your kneecap back into alignment, reducing friction, reducing pain, restoring smooth movement. Pause. And this is not theory. This is exactly how targeted physical therapy protocols are designed, based on decades of clinical research. Pattern interrupt. Now before we close, there's one final piece. And almost nobody talks about it. Hydration. According to NIH findings, cartilage has no direct blood supply. It relies entirely on synovial fluid. And after 7 to 8 hours of sleep, your body is dehydrated, which means your joints are too. So the first thing you do after leaving your bedroom? Drink 1 full glass of room temperature water. Not cold. Room temperature absorbs faster. Then add 10 slow ankle circles per foot. This boosts circulation, driving hydration back into your lower joints. Pause, and just like that, in under 10 minutes, you have completely changed the internal environment of your knees. From stiff, dry, and resistant, to warm, supported, and responsive. So if this helped you, don't keep it to yourself. Share it with someone who struggles every morning. Because no one should feel afraid of simply standing up. And make sure you watch the next episode, because what we're covering next, most people over 60 have never been told. And once you see it, you won't look at your body the same way again. See you there.